Welcome to the Fancy Cakery. Welcome to my kitchen. I had a request to make a chocolate rosette birthday cake, and I think it came out absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to show you how I did it. The first thing that I have to do is make my chocolate cakes. And I did a video on this before. I don't think you want me to go through the whole thing again. You can just watch the video. I will put the info card at the top of this video. You should see it pop up somewhere in the right-hand corner. And you can just go click that link and you can watch me make this chocolate cake from the beginning to the end so you don't miss any steps. And you'll also be able to find the recipe there. Now I'm going on to make my Swiss meringue buttercream. I am cutting out a lot of time and details in the steps. I am going to post a video. You should be able to find it on my channel as soon as this video comes out. And there will be a link to the video in the top right-hand corner so you can get a detailed, no edited version of how to make the Swiss meringue buttercream. It is not hard. There's just tricks to it. You got to know what you're looking for. You can't panic. You got to know how to fix problems when they arise. You got to know how to make it cooler or warmer to get the right consistency. It's not that hard. But I'm editing out a lot of it. But if you want to see how long it takes from the absolute beginning to the end and what everything looks like step by step, so you can follow along, then definitely check that video out. And my meringue is so, look at it, it's so cute. It stands sideways, doesn't even bend. That's a good meringue. I'm adding the butter now, and that's why they call it a buttercream. If you ever wondered why there's a Swiss meringue and a French meringue and an Italian meringue buttercream, or what's the difference? It really is just a difference in the technique. And they do have their different properties. Some are more stable than others. But look how soupy that is. That's not even a buttercream. But I'll show you the trick on how you get it from soup to something beautiful and creamy. Yeah, I did a cheat. I learned how to do a little cheat. You don't have to do the cheat, but it surely saves a lot of time. And if you get it right, this is what you get. Beautiful, creamy Swiss meringue buttercream. So you're going to want to check that video out. And now I'm going to prepare my chocolate cakes for stacking. And I have to cut off the dome off the tops. And there's a trick to it. One day I'll do a video and I'll show you exactly the trick that I've learned. And it really makes it very easy. It's not hard at all. When I first used to do it, I used to cut them so crooked. But now, once you just know tricks, it's just a matter of knowing the tricks and then just practice. And I'm just going to put some Swiss meringue in the middle of my layers. Nice and creamy, tastes so delicious. And I know what you're saying. I didn't notice it quite at the time, that it's kind of crooked. But also, when I need my cakes perfectly straight, I do use what are those bubble little things called? The ones that the measuring thing with the bubble that tells you how straight. I even forget. What are they called? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I do have one of those that I put on the top of the cake, and I make sure the top is perfectly level. Yeah, it's called a level. That's what it is. And I make sure the top is perfectly level and also the side. But because I'm covering this with rosettes, you're not going to see the actual little tilt of the cake or that it's a little crooked. So I'm not even too worried about that. And I'm just smoothing my icing on and doing a crumb coat. And I actually started making the rosette cake, but I couldn't find my tip that I needed, my 1M tip. So I tried to compromise and do it with another tip, and it just didn't look right. So I had to scrape it all off. And basically I had to re-crumb coat it. And then I had to start with fresh icing and redo it. So in a little bit, you'll see that it's not white anymore. I had to actually redo the crumb coat with the blue, the mixed up blue colors from me scraping off the first rosettes that I did. And that happens a lot. You make a lot of mistakes when you make cakes. You're not perfect. Nobody is. You may look like it's all perfect at the end. And people think, oh, what a wonderful job. But they don't know exactly what problems you had during the process or how many times you had to redo some steps. It is. If people sometimes only knew what you had to do to get that cake to look like that, it is, oh my goodness. And then sometimes it just comes out perfect the first time and you just never know. You'll do a cake, a complicated cake, and at first you thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard or complicated, and everything just goes so smoothly. And then sometimes you take on orders and you have a simple cake and you think, oh, this is easy peasy, nice and breezy, ain't gonna be no problems. It's gonna take me 2 seconds. And that cake literally almost set you crazy and took away all your sanity. So you just never know. And so for the rosettes, I just put my cake in 3 equal parts, so that way I have like an idea where I want to put my rosettes. And I'm using a 1M tip, and you just start from the middle and you swirl around and you carry your swirl up, and they really are easy and they look so beautiful. And when you get to the top, you really want to make sure that top layer, the top swirls, are kind of a little above the edge of the cake, so you could have like an edge of the cake. You don't want it to look too rounded. Of course, it's going to look rounded. It's a rosette cake. And I'm doing an ombre rosette cake where you start lighter and go up. And all I did was I started with one color. I didn't mix 3 colors. I just started because I knew that I was just going to get darker as I went along. So I started with a lighter color, and then I just added coloring to make it the darker, and then I added again to make it a darker color. So actually it was super simple to do it that way. If I had to do the darker on the bottom and then lighter as I go up, I would have had to separate my frosting into 3 bowls and do all 3 icings totally separate. And on the top, I have this little plastic cup that I found from Walmart that says Happy Birthday Girl. And I put birthday cake chocolates, and they are so delicious. They taste just like birthday cake.